Hi, and welcome to our presentation. We are Group 4 and will be presenting on the topic of strategic analysis of the pharmaceutical industry. In this presentation, we'll be analyzing the industry attractiveness of this particular industry and also providing a detailed analysis of two leading companies in this sector, namely Sun Pharmaceuticals and Cipla Limited. However, before we start our presentation, let us look at the pharmaceutical industry. As the name suggests, the pharmaceutical industry deals with discovering, developing, producing, and marketing the drugs for the use of medication as administered to the patients by the doctors. Let us dive deeper into the industry by looking at its special analysis. First, the political factors. There are quite a few rules and prohibitions that pharmaceutical companies need to follow. Second, the majority of the government try to keep the prices under control to ensure that the customers can afford it. Third, financial aid is provided by governments which can aid businesses to survive in a cutthroat marketplace. Next up are the economic factors. First, the average increase in family income will make expensive medications viable for a lot of families. Second, as more families purchase medicines and brand new products, this will likely cause a boom in the pharmaceutical industry. Third, families have been spending more on healthcare average in the last 2 years, thanks to the rise in elderly population. Next, we have social factors. First, there's an increase in obesity and various chronic diseases like diabetes, hence the sales keep increasing. Second, there's a higher medication need with the increasing lifespan of humans, as the elderly generally require more medication than the younger population. Third, there's a desire to live healthier lives and follow fitness practices. This could lead to a decline in the need of medications in the future. Next, let us look at the technological factors. Research and innovation has aided in producing high quality drugs at a faster and cheaper rate. Technology has helped create better storage conditions, which enable them to provide or to preserve medicines and improve their life cycles. Third, technology has enabled the sellers to use social media as a platform that enables them to reach a direct and wider audience. Now, environmental factors. Some of them include first, the drugs have a rather lengthy manufacturing process, which causes large carbon footprint. Second, the production of the new drugs leads to integration of new biotechnological pollutants, which might turn to be hazardous for the living beings. Third, the pharma companies generally invest heavily towards the environment, which makes it tougher for the newcomers to enter the business market. Finally, we have legal factors. Now, first, there are quite a few frauds in this industry, which is why there's a requirement for businesses to adhere to strict legal requirements. Second, pharma companies rely on databases to store the information. Cybersecurity is essential in this case, as data theft could result in customers losing trust in the company. And finally, there are strict laws and regulations in place by the government which ensures that they can influence the pricing, which will prevent the company from causing frauds.
So coming to the quotas, five forces, the bargaining power of buyers in this industry is moderate. There are several corporations in the market which gives buyers, including hospitals and other healthcare entities, a choice. But doctor plays an important role. The consumer is forced to follow the doctor's prescription and purchase the medication. As a result, the patient has very little negotiating leverage. The bargaining power of suppliers is low. In the market, there are numerous chemical suppliers. Pharma businesses have the option of switching from one company to another rather than purchasing chemicals at a high cost. Threat of new entrants is low to moderate. Research and development is a critical success factor of this industry, and it has a significant cost. Additionally, there are strict government rules that function as a high barrier for the approval of new drugs. However, the businesses are now shifting from an old approach to new businesses approach like contract manufacturing, and also there is a patent expiration case in this industry. The government has also strengthened the efforts to reduce the healthcare cost, which is putting the pressure on the institution to permit early entry of affordable medicines. Threat of substitutes is moderate to high. Due to lower price, generic medications are now more in demand than the branded ones. The substantial costs associated with clinical trials, research and development, FDA approval are not borne by the generic manufacturers. They can sell their goods for less money. This makes substitutes more dangerous. Therefore, the competitive rivalry in this industry is high. This market is highly competitive as a result of rising demand for high quality medications, the low to moderate entry barrier for new entrants, and existence of the numerous major and small businesses. Firm mergers and larger companies acquiring smaller ones are common occurrences in this sector.
Coming on to the profitability analysis of the pharmaceutical industry. After experiencing year-on-year revenue growth of 8.5% in Q4 financial year of 2022 and 7.7% in financial year 2022 to reach rupees 1.87 lakh crore, the revenue growth of ICRA sample set of 16 Indian pharmaceutical businesses is predicted to reduce to 6 to 7% in financial year 2023. The home market will expand by 6 to 8% year-on-year, the emerging markets by 11 to 13%, all of which will continue to sample set revenue growth. Given the high cost of raw materials and other inputs, ICRA anticipated that the operating profit margin of the sample set would decline to 20.2% in financial year 2023 from 21.5% in financial year 2022. The OPM for the sample set contracted to 18.3% in quarter four of financial year 2022 from 22.3% in quarter four financial year 2021 and 21% in quarter three financial year 2022. This was majorly on account of rising cost of raw materials, other input costs such as freight, packaging amongst others, pricing pressures in the US generic markets, and inventory write-offs for COVID-19 products for a few companies in the sample. Next slide, please.
Now coming to the value chain of pharmaceutical industry, the first step is manufacturing of the medicine. In order to produce a medicine, a number of steps are involved, from the initial research and development phase to gaining regulatory approval, which allows the medicine to be sold in the market, to the final commercialization phase. The specific steps or requirements will differ between types of medicine, manufacturers, and countries. The second step is distribution to the dispensing point. This step includes the transportation and handling of the medicine from the manufacturer to the end user, whether this is a retail pharmacy, hospital, or dispensing doctor. The complexity of this journey will differ depending on manufacturer location, the need for importation of the medicine, the nature of special handling requirements, and the geographical location of the end user, which will vary between large urban centers and remote rural villages. Now, the third and the final step in the value chain is dispensing to the end user. Providing the correct medicine dosage and form to the right patient in a convenient and timely manner is the final step in the value chain. This step can also involve a number of additional activities, including checking for potential interactions, providing advice, and processing reimbursement claims, each of which is intended to ensure the patient receives the full benefit and value from the medicines they receive. In each of these components of the value chain, a range of costs are incurred and value are added. This is shown in the slide. Next slide, please. Next is pharmaceutical industry's critical success factors. The first one is a robust research and development capability. The pharmaceutical industry is intricate. Drug research and development entails lengthy, expensive processes. It can be difficult to define acceptable metrics for these processes. Yet doing so can be more harmful than doing nothing. Well-trained and highly effective sales force is the second critical success factor. A corporation may be at a competitive disadvantage if it lacks a skilled field team that is proficient at explaining the advantages of their products to patients in the illness area. The third critical success factor is sponsorship to the local and international conferences. Building brand equity through marketing efforts may result in differentiating positioning for a company in the market, since it can increase brand recognition for a certain product category, which can help to charge premium pricing on generic products. Fourth critical success factor is product quality. Poor product quality would undoubtedly hurt a business because consumers want to buy an effective product that can treat the conditions it is meant to treat. Poor product quality would discourage recurrent use, and the doctor would switch to alternative treatments. The final and the last critical success factor is availability of clinical data to support promotional claims. A company's marketing initiatives may be at risk if there aren't enough clinical or research data to back its medication promotions. These facts demonstrate the significance of the advantages of using the subject product over alternatives and support the approved indications. Next slide, please.
Cipla Limited is an Indian multinational pharmaceutical company headquartered in Mumbai, India. Cipla primarily develops medicines to treat respiratory disease, cardiovascular disease, arthritis, diabetes, depression, and many other medical conditions. Cipla was founded in 1935. It is the 42nd largest company in India and had a revenue of 21,760 crores according to its 2022 report. Cipla began its battle against heart disease with groundbreaking premium medications 40 years ago. They have been creating a number of medicines throughout the years to treat a number of illnesses, including myocardial infarction, angina, heart failure, and hypertension. Inhalation treatment was introduced to India by Cipla, allowing countless people to breathe freely. They have created over 15 single and combination medications in their fight against illness, and they have completely changed HIV therapy, not only in India, but all around the world. By establishing the Cipla Palliative Care and Training Center, they have also contributed to the development of the palliative care concept in India. Cipla Generics is committed to caring for life and offers a wide variety of medications to the most rural areas of the nation through a reliable delivery network. They improved access to COVID-19 test kits across the country using their current distribution capabilities. Here we can see a therapy-wise share split of India's branded prescription business by Cipla. The majority portion is occupied by respiratory, followed by anti-infectives and cardiac. And we can also see a breakup of revenue by geography, where One India has the most share with 45%, followed by North America and SAGA. Next slide, please.
Coming on to the corporate strategy of Cipla, which consists of creation of the organization's overall short and long-term business strategy in planning to guarantee Cipla's continuing success, tracking and actively monitoring all the internal and external events that have an impact on the company, actively assessing and suggesting prospective, innovative growth ideas that expand the company's present operations into the new markets, therapeutic, specialist, and associated industries, assembling and analyzing for information from the various zones, business units, horizontals, and the global business intelligence team. Through frequent updates and the strategy with the strategy team, monitoring, track, and assessing all the overall success of the strategic initiatives, their conformity with the agreed upon yearly operating plans, and their compatibility with the organizational goals. Next slide. Coming to the business strategy of Cipla. Cipla has established goals to realize long-term value development for the company and its stakeholders. This is done through the sustainable business approach. They preserve the natural capital and have a positive social impact on the stakeholders. The strategic goals of Cipla's ERM function is to integrate ERM into processes, corporate strategy, and critical organizational decision making in order to significantly increase organizational value. Creating a robust worldwide wellness franchisee by assembling a worldwide range of products that cater to the consumer's overall well-being. Expanded offers in the emphasis categories like pain, vitamin and mineral supplements, cough and cold, derma, and gut health. Delivering market-beating growth and improving the position by implementing the One India strategy with precision. One distribution, creating a task force to increase channel involvement and spending money on smart analytics and strategic alliances. Improving patient relationship by launching respiratory awareness campaign and creating health technology platforms like Digital Breakthrough. There are still ongoing efforts to find organic R&D growth for prospect in US injectable markets that call for promotional support. Next slide.
Now, let's start with Cipla. Strengths. Cipla has a wide range of products that are geared mostly towards humans and a few towards animals. Overall, Cipla offers 2,000 items in 65 categories across 100 countries. Next, Cipla has a formidable R&D department that is consistently focused on improving its product with innovation. Next, Cipla is extremely popular across the globe and is highly recognized by the regulatory agencies in India, US, UK, which helps lend legitimacy to customers' numerous products. Finally, Cipla has been quite vocal in support of social and technological initiatives in recent years. Weaknesses. First, Cipla does not have significant presence in majority of developed countries. Then, the second, which Cipla operates, is extremely competitive with high pressure from both local and international pharmaceutical companies. Cipla has been put in negative light recently with the controversy regarding the price of its AIDS drugs. Next, opportunities. Cipla offers a wide range of products that deals with the treatment of HIV, which causes a difficult to cure disease, and the growing number of patients represent an excellent opportunity for Cipla to improve its image. Next, Cipla should look to expand in emerging markets and try to become a big player in one of them, or quite a few of them, if it manages to set up bigger facilities there. Next, various innovative kiosks like HIV have provided them with an opportunity to become a leading player in the bigger markets. Threats. Cipla has massive competition in the Indian market. They can have an impact on the competitors can have an impact on Cipla if they even get an innovative solution or drug, which would further decrease the market share of the company. The government can have a major impact here, as them limiting or regulating prices can cause the profitability to reduce as Cipla invests considerable amount of money in R&D. And finally, currency instability can have a huge impact in the financial agreements between countries. So the next slide.
Sun Pharmaceutical Industries Limited is an Indian multinational pharmaceutical company headquartered in Mumbai, Maharashtra, that manufactures and sells pharmaceutical formulations and active pharmaceutical ingredients in more than 100 countries across the globe. It was founded in 1983 and had an annual revenue of 39,576 crores, according to its 2022 annual report. For international markets, Sun Pharma has developed a range of patent-protected specialty medications. In more than 100 countries throughout the world, they provide doctors and patients access to branded and generic medications of the highest quality at competitive prices. They provide a selection of over-the-counter drugs and consumer healthcare items. In order to enhance vertical integration, they started manufacturing active pharmaceutical ingredients in 1995. They also provide a broad selection of WHO pre-qualified antiretroviral medications. Their main goal is to increase cost and accessibility. Various national AIDS treatment initiatives in Africa receive antiretrovirals from them. Here we can also see a breakup of the therapeutic revenue of Sun Pharma. The first position is occupied by cardiology, followed by neurology and gastroenterology. Next slide, please.
Coming on to the corporate strategy of Sun Pharma. So the following are the major corporate strategies which Sun Pharma focuses on. First one is the vertical integration. This produces and sells pharmaceuticals ranging from APIs to completed dosage. The segment's focus is on the offerings full variety of items. Second is cost leadership. Sun Pharma has a competitive edge since it produces generic medication at very low cost. They have been able to satisfy both high-end and low-cost items thanks to their diverse product lines. They have made a lot of money in part due to their ownership of several patients. Sun Pharma has been successful in distinguishing itself as a leader in crisis. Third is merger and acquisition. Despite the fact that many of its products were distressed buyouts of assets, their main objective is to close the crucial capability gap. Long-term ROI rose as well as presence increased and the product portfolio expanded. Next slide. Coming to the business strategy of Sun Pharma. So Sun Pharma's business plan is to build long-term sustainable shareholder value that is motivated by the vision of reaching people and touching lives as a leading provider of the valued medicines. In the recent years, Sun Pharma has focused on the branded specialty goods with a niche market such as innovative chemicals and molecular entities. Sun Pharma is actively investigating commercial expansion through in-licensing, M&A, and out-licensing activities for branded goods. Strategically important for Sun Pharma are collaborative ventures and research collaboration with renowned academic institutions. This includes creating and market innovative, difficult to manufacturing items, so it maintains strong brand equity and market dominance in India. It utilizes the advantages to in-license cutting-edge, unique items for home market, obtaining a critical mass in important global marketplaces, improving return ratios as a priority. This is strategy. So coming to the business strategy of Sun Pharma. Sun Pharma's business plan is to build long-term sustainable shareholder value that is motivated by the vision of reaching people and touching lives as a leading provider of the valued medicines. It includes creating a market innovative, difficult to manufacture items, maintaining strong brand equity and market dominance in India, utilizing the advantages to in-license cutting-edge, unique items for the home market, obtaining a critical mass in important global marketplaces, improving return ratios as a priority, and ensuring sound cooperative governance with a focus on increasing access to healthcare for all, fostering a stronger sense of community and reducing carbon emissions. Next slide.
So coming to the SWOT analysis of Sun Pharmaceuticals, some of its strengths are: it is a strong global prominence. It is the fourth largest global specialty generics company. It is also the largest pharma company in India by market share. It has a robust R&D infrastructure and capabilities to develop technologically complex products in generics, branded generics, API, and specialty segments. Its strong balance sheet imparts ability to undertake inorganic initiatives without any significant issue, allowing future growth headroom. It has the ability to supply high-quality products at affordable prices across the world. Some of its weaknesses are: it faces stiff competition from many Indian and other global brands, which means limited growth market share it can have in the industry. It has a limited presence in the emerging markets and the European countries. It is challenging to handle for the Sun Pharma, the US generics pricing environment, which is driven by customer consolidation, higher competitive intensity on the faster pace of generic drug approvals by US FDA. Some of the opportunities that it has are: the pandemic has resulted in increased healthcare awareness globally. This argues well for the company like Sun Pharma, which can supply high quality pharmaceutical products at affordable prices. Developed markets have witnessed a consistent increase in the contribution of specialty products in their overall pharma spending, and this trend is expected to continue in the future. Sun Pharma has already commercialized many of its specialty products in the developed markets, hence it will be able to reap the benefits of this opportunity. There are also favorable macroeconomic parameters for Indian emerging markets, as there is a reasonable volume of growth for the pharmaceutical products across these markets in the long term. And Sun Pharma is well positioned to capitalize on these opportunities. Also, there is a growing penetration of the use of generics in the Japan and the opening of China market, which presents a good long-term opportunity for the company. Some of its threats are: the current geopolitical issues give rise to uncertainties related to supply chains, inflation, and overall economic growth. Potential fresh outbreaks of pandemic across the world and subsequent disruption in the economic impact growth across countries and could indirectly impact the pharmaceutical consumption. Given the additional spending on battling the pandemic, government across the world may try to control pricing of certain products, which may lead to mandated price controls on pharmaceutical products as well. Developing a specialty pipeline entails upfront investments for long-term benefits and may impact the short-term profitability of the company. Next slide. So this was the entire strategic analysis of the pharmaceutical industry with two of its top players, Cipla and Sun Pharma. We appreciate your presence. Thank you for listening patiently.